Hey, sales enthusiast, are you ready to boost your sales game and achieve those targets like never before? Well, buckle up because we're about to introduce you to the most critical component of your sales strategy, the sales process. In this module, we'll equip you with the knowledge, skills necessary to navigate the different stages of the sales process with ease and finesse. From prospecting to closing deals, we'll guide you through each step and provide you with expert tips and tricks for maximizing your sales success. So, whether you are a seasoned sales veteran or just starting out, this module is a must attend. So, get ready to revolutionize your approach to sales and start crushing those sales targets like never before. In this module, we'll look to define the sales process and why it is that it is important in achieving our sales targets. Then we'll hope to discuss why having a sales process is critical to reaching those goals. And finally, we'll look at a general overview of the different stages of this process and their role in the overall sales process. But let us start with a definition, as indicated earlier, of the sales process. What is it? The sales process can be defined as a step or a set of steps and activities that a salesperson would go through to transform a potential customer or client into an actual customer. These steps may vary depending on your industry. Now, and by industry, I mean whether you're in finance or other service areas, and even distribution and so forth. That would involve sales. However, the general process usually consists of the following steps. And these steps are the chronology of steps that, in a sense, makes up the sales process. Now, the first step is what we call prospecting stage or step, right? Now, this is where you as a salesperson will find out or identify those potential customers or clients who may be interested in your products or services. Prospecting involves doing your research to identify those particular individuals or leads through various channels, whether it is social media, networking, events, cold calling, or even referrals. These are the channels through which you will then build your pipeline or your leads listing of potential consumers of your product or service. Now, once you would have identified that list and those potential customers, we will then need to now zoom into that list a little bit more to see, okay, these persons are potential consumers of our product or service, but do they have the means? Do they qualify for this particular product or service? And this is where you know, as a salesperson, we need to determine whether they have, for example, budget, authority, need, and even timeline to purchase your product or service. This stage usually involves asking questions to qualify those persons or those potential customers and determine whether they are a good fit for your product or service. Because the truth is, not everything is for everyone, right? Then, once we would have qualified those persons, we then move into the needs analysis stage. So this is where we now have a deeper conversation with the clients, asking open-ended questions to ascertain their pain points and requirements in order to get a better understanding of what their preference and expectations are. This information and this zoom in or microscopic view of what the client expects or what the client wants will then help us to put together a document or, one for a better word, a presentation, right, of what it is that we're offering to the client, and how those offers match up to what it is that the customer wants in this particular scenario. So based on the needs analysis that I would have just covered, you will now tailor your pitch to show how your product or service can solve the customer's problems. They will present, in these presentation, you will present features and benefits of your product or service in a way that resonates with the customer. And it is key to note that your presentation should be meaningful, it should be understandable, and it should be relevant, right? And in terms of relevance, what we're saying is that what you're presenting to the customer needs to be relevant to the problem that you're trying to solve for the customer. And therefore, that will allow the customer to relate to what it is that you're offering, because they can now match it to exactly what it is that they're looking to solve. And it must be understandable. The customer must understand what it is that you're trying to say, and know that matches up to what it is that they want. So in terms of understanding, you yourself and the customer must be on the same page. Now, undoubtedly, what will happen when you present this information to your customer or your potential client or customer, the client will have questions. Now, it is this now transform allows us to move into the next stage of the sales process, which is handling objections. So when the client has those questions based on the presentation that you would have provided to the client, and they raise those objections to you or concerns, it is now your duty as a salesperson to address those concerns or objections by providing reassurance or additional information to better help the customer understand what it is that you're trying to provide, or overcome whatever doubts they may have about your particular offer. And in so doing, once the customer is satisfied sufficiently that your products are safe, they're relevant, and it is in fact solving a problem for them, then you now move to the closing stage. Now, the closing stage is where you actually ask the client as a salesperson for the sale, right? Now, this may you may now use various closing techniques to nudge the customer towards making a decision, right? And these could involve, for example, offering discounts, creating a sense of urgency, or better yet, providing additional value to the potential client or customer, so as to ensure that if it is in fact something that the client realizes is a solution to their problems, or whatever problem they're trying to solve, it is now time for them to take the next step to acquiring that product or service. And this is where we now assist the client in making that decision, if it is in fact needed. Then we move to the final stage of the sales process, right? This now is where, after we would have closed the sale with the customer, we now as salespersons need to follow through and follow up with that customer to ensure that they are satisfied with the product or service that would have offered them, and ensure that the relationship is maintained on a positive scale. Now, this is crucial, and I would stress the term crucial, for building long-term relationships with your customers and generating repeated business from that customer, right? This is key. Customer maintenance through follow-ups and so on is important, as is actually a critical part of the sales process. Now, in summary, the overall sales process involves a combination of skills such as communication, problem solving, negotiation, and relationship building. A successful salesperson must be able to guide a customer through each stage of the process and provide them with a positive buying experience.